Yo, you guys, this is Blacklist of the Abyss, and you're watching my review for Yamada and the Seven Witches, Chapter 100. And we got extra pages this week for the 100th chapter. No color page, but extra pages. That was good because it really did help. It really did help the chapter. Really did. It started off with Yamada and Odagiri going to talk to Tsubasa again, and that blonde. Well, I'm assuming she's blonde. The blonde girl. Apparently, she knows about Tsubasa's power. She was told. Um, that might be relevant later. Maybe she'll go to the student council or something in order to try to get Tsubasa to stop using her power, because at this point there's nothing she can do, really, directly at least, because Tsubasa will just tell her to, leave, like go, and she won't be able to do anything about it. So yeah, maybe that little fact will come up again later. But Yamada and Odagiri, they start talking to Tsubasa, and Tsubasa tells him, "Hey, I want to keep using my power until after the tournament. I didn't expect us to win this many games, so just let me use it until then." And Odagiri tries to explain to her, you need to stop using your power. It's not going to end well if you keep using it. But Tsubasa doesn't listen. So the next day, Odagiri comes by to try and convince her again, and this time Tsubasa's just annoyed. Alright, so she takes her out into the hallway, kisses her, and uses her power on Odagiri. Tells her not to interfere anymore. Alright? That was enough to get Miyamoto's attention. Okay? He calls her into the student council room, and he starts to talk to her. He tries his hand at trying to get her to stop now. But she still doesn't want to do it. And she's kind of taking lightly the fact that she used her power on Odagiri. So Miyamoto slams his hand into the desk, and he catches her by surprise. All right, her and Yamada. All right, and he threatens to disband the basketball team if she doesn't do what he says. However, she's able to kind of recover from that shock, and she pretty much challenges Miyamoto and says, go ahead, do it if you can. All right, and whether this was due to the student council or not, who knows, but after school the basketball team goes up to her and says that they don't want to follow her anymore. They don't want her to be the captain. They don't want to play under her. Alright? So she ends up using her power, telling them to go off and practice. The reason I say it might be the student council's doing is because Yamada ends up showing up right after that. Alright? He shows up, and this time he actually gets her to listen about stopping her power, because he forces her to realize exactly what her power is doing to her, how stressed out she's getting because of it. He tells her to turn around, and she does, and you just see this mirror, and her reflection in the mirror, it was just like, she looked like Brooke from One Piece. I mean, it was she did not look good. And I love the way that was drawn. That page with the mirror was awesome. There were a lot of different panels in this chapter that were drawn incredibly well. There were so many things I wanted to make the thumbnail, whether it be Tsubasa kissing Odagiri, or Miyamura getting angry. Some of the facial expressions that Tsubasa had in this chapter were great too, like the ones where she's cocky or telling them to telling her to leave them alone. Telling them to leave her alone. There are a lot of great panels in this chapter to use for thumbnails, but I just had to use the mirror. The mirror was just so incredibly well done. I love the way it was drawn. Yeah, she looks at herself in the mirror. She finally listens to what the student council has been telling her all this time, and she starts talking about why it is she can't stop using her power. We learn about how it is she became the captain of the basketball team. We learn how the team just turned on her, and she doesn't want to have to go back to that. Her power is what is keeping the team together, and without it, they're just going to turn on her again. And she doesn't want that. But she also doesn't want to quit basketball either, because she likes it. She enjoys playing basketball. So Yamada tells her, you know what? I can save you. All you have to do is kiss me. So she'll probably do it. Whether it'll be next chapter or not, we know she'll do it. It's just a matter of when. Next chapter might be the one. It'll probably be like close to the end of the chapter though, so I'm trying to think of what they could fill the rest of the chapter with. I guess Yamada trying to convince her to kiss him and how it is that would actually help. Yeah, I think that's what the next chapter will be like. Yamada trying to convince her that he can in fact help her. He's not just saying that. He can actually help her. Um, then she'll end up kissing him, and then we'll see the start of the situation starting to solve itself. We'll get a glimpse at how exactly it can solve itself, but how it actually ends up getting solved will happen in the chapters after that. But that's what I see happening next week. As for this chapter, I will give it a 9 out of 10. I thought this chapter was great. I really did. All the well-drawn panels, the way Tsubasa was acting throughout, that page with the mirror. I mean, I thought this was a great chapter. I really did. So I'll give it a 9 out of 10. And that's it. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.